Lige herinde sidder psykolog Justine van Lawick. Jeg skal til at interviewe hende om det arbejde, hun har lavet på sin klinik i Holland, der hedder No Kids in the Middle. Et kæmpestort program, som bliver udfoldet alle mulige andre steder, hvor det faktisk skal lykkes dem at hjælpe forældre og familier og børn i de sager, som er allermest konfliktfyldte. Det de sidder til at lykkes med, det er blandt andet at bryde nogle af de idéer, som terapeuter og behandlere og professionelle og personlige netværk har om, hvad det egentlig er, der hjælper børnene. Undgå nogle af de illusioner, som faktisk står i vejen for at kunne skabe samarbejde mellem forældrene. Eller måske faktisk undgå at skabe samarbejde og kommunikation.
Mother thinks they suffer because of father. Father thinks they suffer because of mother. The children say, no, that's not it. We do not suffer with our mom. She loves us. We can feel that. She's different. They are very different, but we also love dad. He's different. We can laugh with him, play with him. He's very different. But it's okay, because children can live with differences if parents are divorced or not. But we suffer in the in-between space. They are worrying about the family, about the parents. They mention a lot about bad talking about the other parent. Of course, about the fights, all kind of things that they suffer. So that's also why we thought when professionals bring the parents in the in-between space all the time, it can become worse for the children.
So you say when we insist as professionals, when we insist on making a parental team and insisting on the parents communicating, you've been saying we're making it worse, and maybe the network is making it worse.
Sometimes.
What can become worse? What's the scenario?
Well, what the parents told me, so this is just what they told me, that they, like a mother said me this week on Tuesday morning, I felt threatened all the time by professionals saying, you cannot do it this way, you cannot have this high conflict divorce when you have children, you have to do different, otherwise we have to take your children away. And I think the professionals got really frustrated with this family because they had fights for 7 years. And maybe they start to be more and more pushy. When we started with the No Kids in the Middle, so that's a project for high conflict divorce people. And very often they are divorced for long, long years. It starts, I think, with 4, 5, 6, 7, until 12 years of fighting divorce. Very conflictuous divorce. And most of them had a lot of help. With mediators, with therapists, with lawyers, of course, but also child protection services, all kind of professionals. And the message they got time again and again is, when you have a divorce, you have to do it in a good way, and your children shouldn't suffer. And that means you can split up as partners, you cannot as parents, and you have to be a good parental team. So all the professionals try to make them communicate better, to be a better team, but sometimes in couples, for a lot of people that works and it's okay, and parents can be supported to be a good parental team, and that's great for the children. I have nothing against it. But for some parents, maybe there has been violence in the time they were together, maybe there were other relational traumas, they trigger each other. And when the help is only wanting to bring them together as a good parental team, that can also make the conflicts worse. So we have a lot of parents that say, during mediation it became worse, or during that intervention it became worse. And so we thought maybe we shouldn't do that, because we as professionals maybe have illusions that that's possible for everybody. We make this frame of a good divorce and a good parental team that communicate. They don't need to be friends, but they need to communicate and things like that. And we try to get all the divorced parents into this frame. And my suggestion is not to do that. and to let go of therapeutic or professional illusions, and to see what do these parents tell me, and where can we find a better place for the children. And then we often end up in that the parents let go of each other, that there is less communication, because when they are in conflict they try to change the other one all the time. There's a lot of communication, emailing, and a lot of interaction. And when things slow down and they let go of each other, they at last can have a divorce and things can be much better for the children. So then we say it's parallel parenthood. They do their own thing with the children as good as possible, and the only thing we as professionals have to see, how can the necessary contact about certain important things can happen.
And how do you make this communication happen about the
Well, we
things?
work with networks, people around. So everybody has some kind of a network, and we reach out to the networks because that's another point. But we found also that the networks sometimes also fuel the conflicts. They also are afraid of what the other person can do, and they keep their network member that they love here in a certain space. So we reach out to the networks, we work together with the networks. We ask them to help us to make a better place for the children, always the children in the center. And sometimes we say, okay, when they do not communicate for, let's say, 3 months, let's see if it works. Who is willing to make the contact when it's really important? Because a child is ill, there's something from the school they have to get an agreement on. And then most often it works when you have one member from this network, one member for that network, and they can communicate together. And they can see where is the good solution and bring it back to the parents.
So you have been working with making parallel parentship, parenthood. So, and what do they? What's the reaction from the parents?
That's what the parents want.
That's what they want.
Yeah, when they feel okay, that's possible, then I don't have to see the other one all the time, and it can be a big relief. They come into a place where they can concentrate on their own life and the children, and then you can end up in parallel parenthood, that you say, okay, I want to go on with my life, I also want rest at the end, I cannot change the other person, so I concentrate on my own days, my own times, my own holidays with my children, and I make the best of it. And when they are with the other parent, I don't interfere. I try to concentrate on good things in my life, other things, friends.
One of the ideas we have is that children need their parents to be communicating, that they need their parents to have some sort of cooperation. Is that part of the illusion that you talk about?
Yeah, I can tell you a boy of 7, and this boy said, oh, things are so much better. And in the beginning, 0 to 10, he said, my life is a 3. And now he said it's 8. We said, wow, wonderful, how's that possible? It's 8 now, great. And he said, yeah, my parents don't fight anymore. And we said, how is that possible? They had so big fights. They don't talk anymore. And we said, okay, do you like it that they do not talk? Yeah, I like that because there's no fights. And then we asked further, we said, but when it's really necessary, when there's something they really need to know from each other, he was fine, that they will find each other. So in the back of his head, in the back of his mind was this idea, they will find a way. And that, of course, he needed. That he knew when it's really something serious, they have to find each other. But for the rest, he was glad with it. So maybe it's an illusion. To let go of our illusions, our frames, how it should be. Because that actually it's the same as the parents do. They have a frame how it should be and how the other one should behave, with cooking healthy meals, with time that the children should sleep, or the way they should behave, or and And maybe we do sometimes the same, that we make a frame and try everybody to put in this frame of the good divorce and what's good for the children, instead of having an open dialogue and being curious about this family, this situation, maybe exceptions, and what could work here, and be open.